Explanation for 11.1 writing workout. Okay, so before we even go over this, I want you to remember that you have 2 weeks to do this assignment. So don't throw things at me virtually because if you do a little bit each day, it's not as overwhelming. Okay, another big thing I want you to do, I want you to take this assignment in chunks. If you look at it as you're completing it in its entirety, you're gonna get overwhelmed, and I'm not expecting you to do this all in one day, okay? So take it piece by piece. I have a lovely pacing guide for you right here in the assignment. If you follow it, you will be done on time. So follow the assignment pacing guide, okay? So let's go over this together. One big thing that I want you to know is how to do before you leave my class is I want you to know how to revise and edit your work, okay? Because there's a difference between revising and editing. Revising deals with content issues that need clarification or polish, and editing are those grammatical or formatting issues that need to be corrected. And many of you, and it's okay, but you don't understand this distinction. That's the whole point of this assignment. So you're going to be learning as you're doing. So there is lesson content in this as you're completing the assignment, which is why there's so much here. It's kind of like doing a workbook, okay? I don't care if you're the best writer in the world who writes every day or if you struggle, you are going to get something out of this. And my goal is that you're going to be able to apply what you learned here to when we write our next essay for this class, okay? Um, so that being said, the purpose of this assignment is to give you practice with revision and editing skills. You should expect to work over this for a period of days, one section at a time, okay? As you're working through it, the gray boxes are where I give you examples, and the yellow boxes are where you need to complete your work, okay? For part one, when you're revising, you're going to work on revising and improving organization and structure. One big thing I want you to work on is creating those strong topic sentences. Okay, so I give you an example of a strong thesis statement here, and I want you to create topic sentences that directly correlate back to your thesis statements and create the those strong topic sentences that go with your strong thesis statement. So this is an example of what you would have to do here. You would look at the thesis statement, and then these are not good topic sentences for your body paragraphs. So you would write better topic sentences that coordinate with your thesis statement. Okay, so here's where you would complete this work. You have this good thesis statement, but not so good topic sentences to connect to your thesis statement. So you're going to write better ones here to go back to this. And you will do this several times. So you're going to look at several different thesis statements and several different topic sentences for body paragraphs and work on revising that, okay? Then you're going to revise for deeper discussion. Okay, so a lot of you, when you were writing your Beowulf essay, were just throwing a quote in there, and you weren't really providing that explanation that helps connect your reader to the quote. So you read through all of this information here. I give you an example of what this really needs to look like, and what you need to do is then you're going to revise this student sample of a paragraph, and you're going to create a better paragraph where you are introducing that quote, providing the quote, and then following up with that information. And then you're also going to cite correctly, okay? So here's all the information you're going to need to cite those quotes correctly. And you'll write your revised paragraph right here. Then, one really big thing that I want you to work on is creating that sentence variety, okay? When all the sentences are the same length or start in the same manner, it gets so boring to read it. And you don't want your reader to feel bored with your ideas. So you are going to look at the first five words of each sentence, and it'll help you realize how to shake it up some, okay? And what you're going to do is you are going to revise this paragraph for sentence variety. The next one is formal diction. I said in class that I really don't want to ever see I, me, we, or you, or any of those informal pronouns that typically get used with less formal writing. But when you're writing an essay for class, you are creating something formal because you're developing those educational ideas and explaining them to your teacher. Okay, so I want you to get into and many of you are struggling. Well, how do I write without saying you or I? And so we're going to practice using that formal tone. So I give you a couple examples on how this would go from the informal second person to the formal third person. And what you will need to do is you will need to provide examples of your own with these samples here. So you'll need to fix these four sentences. Remember, this is not all intended to be done in one day. Okay, 2 weeks. I'm giving you 2 weeks to do this. Part 5, you're going to revise for strong verbs. Forms of the verb to be often get overused and they can make your writing sound weak and boring. So you can click here to help revise to be verbs, and I want you to change those verbs to create more engaging writing. Okay? Then you've seen this a lot with your writing fundamentals quizzes, but now I want you to apply them. I still saw comma splices and run-on sentences and fragment sentences when I was grading the essays. So what I want you to do is I want you to start working on applying what you've learned in the writing fundamentals quizzes to your writing in the classroom. Okay, so what you'll do is you will look at the sentence sample I give you, identify if it's a comma splice, a run-on sentence, or a fragment, and then revise it so you can take out the grammatical error. Finally, and I was nice. I wasn't too harsh on this one, but I want you to work on the MLA formatting because I want you to get into the practice of doing this correctly, especially for your next essay. So you will look at these examples of in-text citations and you will correct them so that way they will be in the correct MLA format. Okay, and I give you a couple examples here. And if you have any questions at all over this, don't hesitate to ask. All right, that is a big assignment. If you come up with any questions at all as you are doing it, do not hesitate to reach out and ask those questions, okay? Thank you very much.